Welcome to the Referrals Podcast, the show designed to help everyone from the solopreneur to the Fortune 500 company win the referral game. If you want to build a company with an army of ambassadors and raving fans who speak highly of you and refer you willingly, you are in the right place. And now, here is your host, Michael J. Maher.
Hey everybody, this is Michael J. Maher. Welcome back to another episode of Referrals Podcast. Thank you so much for being listeners. And I have to give a huge shout out to Kathy Baxter, a Canadian. Oh my gosh, we now reach Canada and about 19 other English-speaking countries, I guess. And she sent me this great-looking water bottle that I am now drinking water out of. So good. So it had a little Canadian fizz to it, a little Canadian punch to it. So Kathy, thank you very much. I really appreciate that. And thank all of you listeners, because we have reached number 12 in the world for marketing podcasts. And you made that happen, you listeners. It's not just me listening to all the episodes or downloading all the episodes. Do that, though I do that 500 times a day. I'm just saying. But here's the thing, is I will tell you that today I cannot wait to deliver the goods to you. We have Zach Weselek and Patrick Mirzayan from Woodbridge, Virginia. They are real estate agents with Pro Capitus Real Estate, and I cannot wait to share that with you. But I have to tell you, I have a little bit of a sinus infection. I had Referral Mastery Summit not too long ago in Atlanta. We had hundreds of crazies from all over the world in attendance, and it was awesome. I gave them all I got, including my voice and a little bit of my health. So I have a little bit of a raspy voice today. Hopefully that inspires you that, hey, listen, even when you're not feeling great, you're not feeling perfect, you still go to work. You still make it happen. Today we're going to talk about success suicide a little bit during this. And success suicide is when you just throw your arms up and you just stop. And you stop right before you're having that breakthrough. Success suicide is the breakdown before the breakthrough. But the only way to break records is to break through. So make sure that you do the breakdown. Embrace the success suicide. For me, I'm embracing the sinus infection. First time I've been sick in like 4 years, because I know on the backside is awesome. On the backside, I know there's a breakthrough. There's something beautiful that's going on. And I can't wait to get through it. I just have to get through it. And unfortunately, you have to kind of suffer through this with me right now. So thank you for hanging with me, Referrals Podcast people. And before I get too deep into this, we need to welcome our guests, Zach Weselek and Patrick Mirzayan from Pro Capitus in Woodbridge, Virginia, to the show. Welcome to Referrals Podcast, gentlemen.
Hey, thanks for having us.
Thank you. What's up, everybody?
Thanks. I appreciate that. So I think the first thing is you're both in real estate. How long have you been in real estate?
I'm at about 3.5 years.
Yeah, I'm at full-time a year, but total 3 years.
Okay. So about the same amount of time. And so Zach's been in about 3.5 years and Patrick's been in about 3 years. And so how did you get started when you got started? Like how did you get business, or if you got business, you know? And so tell us about getting started and maybe the struggles of getting started.
Well, when I got started, I was a young 22-year-old kid, didn't really know what to do. Was going the cold calling route.
I have to interrupt you. You're like, when I got started, I was a young 20. You're 25. You're so wise in 3 years. It's amazing. You know, it's like, so 22 years old, you were getting started and you really didn't know a ton.
I grew up in the volunteer fire department. Both my parents were involved. I myself got involved.
Wow.
And, really my business started, and still to this day comes a lot from those connections I made there. And so I just started really doubling down on my database, sphere of influence, and those connections that I already had, people that trusted me to be in the fire service with them. So that translated over to real estate.
I love that. And that's what happens so often. And too many people downplay, like, working with the circle you're already in. You know, you were already in the firefighting circle. So why fight it? Just embrace it and let people know, yeah, you know what? I am a full-time firefighter. I love this. But I also on this side is I'm a real estate expert. I can help people make great real estate decisions. So I love how that turned out. And Patrick, how about you? How did you get started and what did you do when you were started to try to get business?
Yeah, so I grew up in the retail world. My family owns retail businesses. And so my whole life was retail. And I wanted to really get out of retail. And we moved to our area.
You wanted to get out of retail because of the long hours. And you thought real estate, that'll be nice. And so it's like, oh my God, what the heck was I thinking? It's like we all work half days. You can pick which 12 hours a day you want to work, right?
You're correct. Yeah. But me and my wife moved up. We lived about 3 hours away. So when we moved up here to this area, it was difficult because I don't have a sphere in this area. Mm-hmm. So it was mostly just calling and, you know, my old job, I had some connections with some clients. I got lucky with some referrals here and there, but the beginning was about 8 months was rough, made $0. But my breakthrough was I sold my sister-in-law her first house. And
in Woodbridge?
No, in where we're from originally.
Okay.
A lot of my sphere is down there. We're from Roanoke, but a lot of my sphere is from down there. So I've sold almost as many houses down there that I have up here.
Wow. Well, and that works. I mean, Roanoke's not bad. You know, how far is Roanoke from Woodbridge?
3.5 hours.
Yeah. So it's a day drive. You could drive down Friday, work some business Saturday and Sunday. So
and then my parents.
As long as you're going that way.
Yeah.
Coming back, traffic could be a deal, right?
Oh yeah.
Welcome to DC. District of Champions, baby.
Oh, yeah.
The Nationals are world champions in baseball. So yay, Bryce Harper. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I say that out loud? Sorry, Bryce. But congratulations to the District of Champions, DC area. And so things have really changed. Like you were kind of doing some good business, and then lately your business has absolutely tripled. Your business has absolutely gone through the roof. And so what made that happen?
We teamed up. I mean, we were both individual agents, and we kind of, when we first met, we met at a it's called Ignite class. It's just like a beginner class for agents, and we kind of had the same mindset, and we kind of grew together and had the same basic ideas of how we want to succeed.
I love it. And then you took a Event Mastery class. Did you take a Event Mastery class together?
We did, yes. Actually, we teamed up almost a year ago.
In October.
In October.
And then took a Event Mastery class in January?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
Yay. That makes me happy. So I mean, sometimes when you partner up, it's kind of like, what do we do next?
Yeah.
You know, it's like, so we like each other and we know we can help each other and like two is better than one. But if both of us are doing the same thing, is it really a partnership? And then, I mean, literally 2 months later, you're jumping into Event Mastery class. And now you have to divide and conquer because there's a lot to do, from the Event Mastery class. So what made you decide to sign up for Event Mastery class?
Well, I was introduced to the 7L book probably a year and a half, 2 years ago by another agent.
Who was it? Let's name names here.
Her name was Vicky Durandis.
Vicky, last name?
Durandis.
Durandis?
Yes.
Okay. I'd be interested to know how Vicky found out about it. So that's cool.
Yeah, I'm not too sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did that, started following, really dove into the power notes. Like I said, really connecting with my sphere. I was always interested about throwing events, housewarming parties, but was overwhelmed with how to begin. And I saw the link, I believe it was a Facebook ad for the Event Mastery class. So I just wanted to dive in. Being so sphere-based, we wanted to find a fun way to connect with people and still get business. And that seemed like the perfect step-by-step process.
And I was tired of cold calling.
Yeah, so you're tired of cold calling. No more cold calling. And you know, the beauty of this is I wonder if you hadn't partnered up, if you would have taken on Event Mastery Class. Because you're right. I mean, at first glance, like the house ring parties, it feels daunting for a solo agent to do. But I have to tell you, if you just run the system, I did it when I was a solo agent, and I was running 2 or 3 parties a weekend. So it's like, it can definitely work. Yeah, it's a lot of work. But I love that it's like, all right, we partnered up. It almost feels like, you know what, together, I know we can do this. Versus, and that might be a great piece of advice for people out there who are maybe considering event mastery classes, is partner up to take it. You know, partner up to take it and say, hey, we're going to throw our event together. So, so you got into the class in January, and I guess, you know, I'm really curious I'm the teacher of the class. So, you know, you know, it's kind of hard to give direct feedback to me, especially because we're recording this on a podcast, but you know, what was kind of your first impressions when you got the event mastery class book and when you started to go through it?
I got super giddy and excited about it. You know, you were pushing the I Love You a Latte kind of event, and we, both being millennials and me coming from the fire department side, we were kind of trying to think how to tailor it. Everybody likes beer, so we were like, oh, let's put everyone together. Lagers of Love.
No! Did you just say that out loud?
Yeah,
my God. I love Lagers of Love.
It was a week after Valentine's Day.
Oh my gosh. Dude, that you can bet a lot of money that I'm going to repeat the living heck out of the name of your event.
I
love that. I Love You Latte and Lagers of Love. People could use those at the same event. I love it. So you did a Lagers of Love. You got to do that like forever. And you can do it any day of the week, any year. You can do it anytime. So you did Lagers of Love. We need to write that. We need to, like, that's the title. That's going to be so good.
All right.
So talk me through that. You took the class, and who did what? You know, who did what between the two of you for the Lagers of Love, which we kind of gear up event mastery class that starts the year to end, and for me to train you to have an event during Valentine's Day or the week after. And I even like stay on with you a little the week after to do follow-up and that kind of thing. So that's what event mastery class, for people who don't know what event mastery class is, it's 7 weeks, Monday, Friday. Monday is a 1-hour session on here's what to do this week. And then Friday is the accountability session and Q&A session for you to wrap up the week. So we kind of tell you what to do at the end of the week. Did you do it? And if you have any questions on why you haven't done it, we answer those. And we do that for 7 weeks. And the 6th week is the event. That's when you're doing your event, when you sign up for event mastery class. So that's what you guys did. And so how did you divide and conquer on this?
So I'm more of the creative side of us.
Yeah.
Zach is more like analytical.
Yeah.
So he was responsible for putting all of our database, getting addresses, figuring out who we're inviting.
The data.
The
analyzer was in charge of the data. That, for some reason, that's just beautiful. You know?
And then I did we did hard invitations. So we actually did hard invitations. So I created those. We mailed those out. I did the Facebook event, the inviting people on Facebook. We both went and found the brewery, which was like the best part. Because you got to make sure the product.
You had to check. That was research. For the data guy, it's research. For you, it's just fun. So that's beautiful, right? Yeah, you had to check them all out.
Yeah, we did. And then we both ended up figuring out who our best sponsors were.
Yep.
Picked out 4 sponsors that we liked, had them come, and we made a sheet of what they were going to contribute.
Yeah.
And how they were going to help out. And every week we just kind of stuck with what the class taught us, and got it to
Are
the
you
end.
guys willing to share the hard invitation and the sheet for the sponsors that you did?
Yeah.
Would you mind? Okay. So that'll be our download for this episode, and we'll kind of add to it as we go here. And so this is your first event ever in real estate, and you're doing it together. And so you're kind of taking care of the graphics, the invitation, the sponsors, and then you did a Facebook invitation. Did you do that through a Facebook event, or did you do it just through a Facebook message, or did you just post something on Facebook for your friends?
We had created basically
we did all three,
but we created
all three. Okay.
Kind of funneled it through there.
All right.
Yeah, we made the event, and then we would message everyone that we wanted to invite and send them a link to the event and say, hey, respond here.
I love it. Did you invite people any other way?
Yeah, we did, like I said, hard invitations. We did texting, handwritten notes.
We did videos. We would do text videos.
What was the best way? So you really followed the system. You literally went through, you did like everything we're talking about, we cover in Event Mastery class. Talk about the hard invitation, and we talk about, the email, and then we talk about this Facebook messaging and the Facebook, and we talked about texting. What was the best way, or what seemed to be the thing that got the best response from your invitations?
I know for me, the best response actually came from the handwritten notes, putting the PS and having people respond saying, hey, text me if you're coming, or thanks for coming, text me just to confirm. I got the most responses from people actually reaching out.
Did you put that in the PS, or did you put it on a Post-it note?
I put that in the PS.
Okay, perfect. So you ran seven steps to a power note. In the PS, it said, hey, RSVP for this event, love for you to come, here's my phone number. And they texted you. How many handwritten notes did you write?
I think we did 28.
Okay. And do you know how many of those people ended up coming?
Off the top of my head, I don't know exactly. I'd say at least half.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. And all right. And then how many people did you have at your first event?
A little over 60.
Yeah. Yeah. So everybody's worried about not having anybody go to their first event. And here you guys are running your first event, and you had 60 people show up, and both of your spheres are pretty small, in the area.
Mm-hmm.
So kudos to that. And Patrick, what do you think your most successful invitation method was?
So with me, is what I saw is the one thing I don't like about like texting or emailing is the fact that you don't know if they actually read it or if they just ignored it or trashed it. Right. So anyone that I invited on Facebook, I sent a personalized Facebook message to each one. So at least I know when they read it, it shows that they read it.
Love that.
So we both actually just messaged every single person that we could on Facebook, at least 2 to 3 times the day of the event, a week before the event, we followed up and followed up and followed up and followed up. And it was just, but yeah, the Facebook Messenger was the best for me.
Yeah, I love that. And did you get any complaints about just too much communication? Like, you're inviting me too many ways. Like, I have a list of 8 ways that you talk to people.
Yeah, actually, no, we never.
I didn't.
After they said no, then we just, they said, no, we can't make it. Okay, it's fine. But no, would, any way we could possibly reach someone.
Yeah, you did it.
You have to. You have
They're
to.
like, you really want me to come? They don't think. If you had called people 8 times for this event, they would have been like, quit calling me, you crazy caller. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you didn't. You ran the system, which is this multifaceted approach. It's different modes of communication, and you put them all together. And if I got a Facebook message from you, and then I got a handwritten note from you, and then I got a call from you, it's just like, he really wants me to come. It's not they're bothering me or interrupting me or what's going on here, So I love that you had 60 people there. And this is at a brew pub, yes?
Yeah, at a brewery, yeah.
At brewery? Okay. And do you remember how much it costs? What was the investment?
Like from us or the total?
Yeah, total. Like what would it cost if somebody didn't have sponsors?
If they didn't have sponsors,
say 500.
no more than that. The tab was that much. Around, we'll say between $750 and $1,000.
Okay, and I have to tell you, at Referral Mastery Summit, we did a I Love You latte in the morning, Friday morning. So all of the attendees that were there for Referral Mastery Summit, we invited that. We did an invite and everything for coffee. They came over for coffee. We bought them all coffee, and we had them guess, how much do you think that this event cost? And everybody was like $750, $850, $650, $600, $500. And the total bill to buy over 200 and some people coffee, $252.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's crazy.
So people are like, the value seems like it's far more than it really is.
Right. I mean, so our catch to people was, you will buy your first beer.
There you go.
That was also a cost, but that's how we got people to come, is we'll buy your first beer and food, and we had food included also.
Yeah. So, and you probably bought a few people's second beer, I would guess.
Yeah, a couple.
Maybe.
A couple of our closer.
Okay. So, first of all, the $750 to $1,000, and then how much did the sponsors cover?
It cost us a total of $200, and that's including like a door prize. Yeah. And then just basically what was left over from the tab.
Yeah, and tip, right? I mean, really, you kind of got the tip.
Oh yeah.
So $200. And so sponsors covered up to like $800 of that.
Yeah, we had four,
including some door prizes.
Yeah, we had
maybe even a little more. And then how did you do the drinks? How did you keep tab on who you were buying first beer for, so that you weren't necessarily having to buy a second beer for?
So the point of all these events obviously is to collect data, get information. So we went to the brewery.
No. The point of these events is to get referrals.
Or get referrals, yes.
Working by referral is not some fairy tale world. It's real. I've seen it. And you can too. Invest in yourself by learning how to run your business by referral at Michael's upcoming live event. It will be a day filled with hands-on, how-to, low to no-cost strategies that you can implement in your business right away. Learn how to run a business by referral that not only feeds your family, but feeds your soul. Go to www.gengenevents.com today. That's www.gengenevents.com.
So, half of the door prize entry form, or half of the registration form, or half of a lot of the things we do is that data collection, just to keep current. The other half is to get referrals for us and referrals for our sponsors, right? So I just want to make sure everybody realizes this is not data collection podcast.
No, right.
This is referrals.
Yeah.
They're in the right place. If you want data collection podcast, then somebody's got one. So,
no, sorry. The point of this, so we have information sheets, and on there it's they have to fill it out, name, address, and then it says, who do you know that's looking to buy or sell real estate? They get referrals from them. Yeah. So in order for them to get a drink ticket, we went to the bartender and said, hey, anyone that comes up with this ticket, put it on our tab. You
have a ticket, or is it the door prize entry form was the ticket?
We had them fill out the entry form and gave them a ticket.
I love it. Brilliant.
They took to the bar to get their drink. So if they
what I love about that is the flow. Flow. There's a flow to that me as a friend of yours can follow. I understand I need to fill this out to get a ticket, to get a beer. And I'm willing to do anything to get a beer. So I am going to fill out this form. I'm going to get a ticket. I'm going to take the ticket up. And with the ticket, I get a free beer.
Yes.
Yep. I love it. And so you use the golden ticket strategy, but you kind of use the golden ticket as almost like you put 3 steps in there instead of kind of like the one, which is go to me for the golden ticket. But you kind of made it like, all right, you fill out this form, then you get the ticket, and then you'll get the beer. Mm-hmm. I love that. I love the flow of that. Zach, did you add something to add to that?
I did not.
Okay. So, all right. So and then how many referrals did you get?
From that one, I think we got
Maybe 2.
No, we got more than that. We got 8 or 9.
Did we?
Okay. So your very first event ever, you got 8 or 9 referrals.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What's your average sales price where you sell?
$350.
Yeah, about 350.
So 350 times 10 would be $3.5 million in business. So you're looking at about $3 million in business from that event, approximately. It hasn't come through maybe all yet.
Right.
But
Pipeline, yeah.
yeah. Okay. And you paid $200 to buy all your friends' beer.
That's
Yes.
right.
God bless America. I just have to say that. Okay. And so that, I mean, on a scale of 1 to 10, how do you think your first event went?
Like 11.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's call it 11 to round off to the nearest 11. So we're gonna, so 11 out, So I mean, the only way it could have gone better, like make it a 12, is if you didn't have the $200 thing, and you would have maybe got some more referrals.
Yeah.
But
If
overall,
they
it
had
was
contracts
great.
right there at the event, it would have been a 15.
If what?
If they had written contracts right there at the event.
So you need to have a contract writing event.
Right?
All right, just come on down. We're going to write a contract for a house for you. Zillow wishes you could do that.
Oh yeah.
They wish it was a trade-in program. Well, it's just a house. I'll just trade it in. So unfortunately and fortunately, people don't just think like they do with cars, with houses. It is so much more than a commodity. It's so much more than a ends to a means. It's a home.
Yeah.
So you did another event. Was it called Loggers of Love, or did you call it something different?
No, we did, what was it, back to school at the brewery?
Back to school at the brewery.
Okay, back to school with beer. That's because school and beer should always go together. I'm just saying. Back to school at brewery. Okay. Did you have a charity at your first event?
Yes.
Okay. What was your charity at the first event?
They're called the Humble Hustle.
Okay.
Um,
Love it. What do they do?
They help like at-risk teens and kids, and so for that event, we just had we told everyone in our we sent them an invitation, a pamphlet that said, please bring like kids hygiene products, socks, and we got tons and tons of stuff from people. Like you would never expect people to do that, but they actually do.
Yeah, I love this. And most of your friends are probably 20 to 30. Yes.
Yeah.
So we don't always look at that age group as the big givers, because they have a lot of other stuff that they're doing. Mm-hmm. So you're proving that wrong. I believe that in many cases, the millennials understand the generosity generation more than any other group, mm-hmm. So I love that. So tell us about the back to school at the brewery. Same concept, just doing it at a different time of the year.
Mm-hmm. Same concept, different time of the year, and we didn't do the steps for the mastery class that we learned.
Okay, so were you in event mastery class at that time?
No.
Okay, and so you had the same kind of checklist from the first one.
Correct, but we just didn't follow it because we just assumed what we did, because we assumed, hey, we invited you the first time. This is the exact same event. Maybe you'll come again without us having to put in all the work.
Yeah.
And it was not, that one did not go as we had planned.
And I have to congratulate you on the humility, right? I mean, it's like, listen, that's the beautiful thing of this is that these are real people implementing real things. It's just like you see it on Facebook, or you see all these, and you got this picture of this guy in front of a Ferrari and a McLaren, and he's like, and what you find out later is that neither one were his, or it was a green screen with the thing in the back, and it's so like this image you're projecting, and none of that on Referrals Podcast. Like, this is real people getting real results by being real. And here you are, you're being real. You're like, you know what? I ran the system to a T, and it was an 11 out of 10, got a lot of referrals. It wasn't very expensive, had some great sponsors, had a great charity. It was a win, 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 win. And then you're talking back to school. It's like, all right, we thought we could get away with less. Who hasn't ever thought of that, And so you didn't do the touches to invite people.
No.
So how many people did you have?
Between 5 and 7.
Right. So the bill wasn't very much.
No,
Right.
It wasn't. Yeah, it was
bad.
It was bad. And then for us at this brewery, it made it. I don't know how to make it sound, but like it made us also not look as professional as we want to, because we told them, hey, we're going to have this 60 to 70 people show up, and 5 people showed up.
Yeah. So, so it is what it is. I mean, that's the thing about this is that, what a great way to learn a lesson.
Oh, yeah.
But what a crappy way to learn a lesson.
Yeah.
So, but you can always save face with it. I mean, they don't care. I mean, the brewery, they still had their people to serve anyway.
Yeah.
And you're bringing, if it's just you drink, so what you had to do is you had to drink enough for 60 people. Right?
Exactly.
I bet there could have been some of that with that. It's like we have 5 or 6 people. It's like, oh my God, this is awful. Let's correct it here. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how did the second event go?
-2.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah. Not that you're into extremes or anything, but it's like
disappointing.
So it was a -2, and how much did it cost you?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't even
Maybe
know.
$50. I don't know.
Maybe, right? With sponsors, you probably had enough sponsors to cover that small bill. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you actually probably made money to make this mistake.
Yeah.
That's the best kind of mistakes to have. I'm just saying. The
Yeah.
kind that you make money off of. So I think that the next thing is, we talk about success suicide a little bit, and, was there some success suicide here, or was it more of just like success suicide is truly a breakdown that you experience before a breakthrough happens. And it's just like, it could be a good thing or a bad thing, but it's literally like self-sabotage. Mm-hmm. Was this a self-sabotage thing, or was it just like, I want to get away with less and try to get the same? What do you think?
I would say it was self-sabotage more from an egotistical point of view, just saying, we did say we can get away with less, but in the back of my mind, I knew we should have been doing these touches.
Yeah.
But I was like, we don't need to. We've got a strong database. We can get away with less.
Yeah.
And it just really kicked us in the teeth a little bit to realize for our next event, we're going to follow it
to a T.
Yeah.
Just run the system.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think, so what are you going to do better next time? Like, what's it look like for you guys?
Well, for our we had an event after that we did.
Okay. I did not know you had a third event. I just have 2 events down here.
Yeah.
So you had a third event. So what was it? What
that was our fall festival that we did.
Fall Fest. I love Fall Festival. I love the name. I love that you do it. And hopefully you did it in the fall.
We did.
Okay. It makes a lot of sense in the fall.
We went back to what we know we were supposed to do.
I love this. I have to tell you guys, that's not even like the third event's not in my notes. I love this. So I love that we have the next thing in. All right. So quickly, right? So Fall Fest. And so you have this master checklist that you created, and you're going to share this with our listeners. Yes. The checklist for the Fall Festival.
Yes.
For your events. Okay. And you ran the system, you ran the checklist. And so tell me about the difference. What was different with the Fall Festival?
We had a little over 200 people show up.
Oh my gosh. 200. So you got your butt kicked one time and that's it. No more of that. So you ran the system.
We had a little over 200 people show up. We had 19 referrals. And we used the same similar ticket method because we were giving away hot dogs and we got pumpkins for kids to paint.
Okay.
So our thing was, how can we get people to, give us referrals?
Yeah.
So we said, in order to paint a pumpkin, to go get it, you have to get this ticket to give it to the person at the pumpkins, and they'll give you your pumpkin. So we did the
same thing. Works for pies, works for ice cream, works for donuts, works for anything you want to do. So you're using the golden ticket strategy right out of Event Mastery class, which is, I have to tell you a quick story on this you guys will love, is we're at Referral Mastery Summit. So it's a Thursday night Friday and Saturday event. Friday and Saturdays all day, Thursday night. So Thursday night, I did a 2-hour opening, and then we had a cocktail reception, 2-hour cocktail reception. Well, I stood in the back of the room, and then the bar was outside the entry, outside by where the registration desk was. So they came to me to get a ticket, and then they went and got their drink. That makes sense. To you guys, that makes sense, yes? So we have a long line, 200 people in line. I'm loving on all of them. Loving on all of them because I do love them. I love that they were there. I love that they invested. I love that it was raining outside and that we were inside and warm. And I was just loving on them, giving them a ticket. They go, they got their drink. I could hear the buzz outside as people were talking to each other and mingling. And I got through the 200 people very quickly. Because I've done it before. So Friday morning during my opening general session, we talk about the I Love You Latte that had just taken place. And I said, how many of you have ever done or attended an I Love You Latte? 5 or 6 people put their hand up. And I was like, that's interesting. And then I go, okay, how many of you had your coffee bought for you this morning at the corner bakery across the street? 200 people put their hand up. And I go, how many of you filled out a form to get the coffee? And they raised their hand. All of them were like, and I go, you just went to an I Love You Latte. And everybody's like, you could see their faces like, you don't realize that this is a strategy.
Yeah.
Right.
When you're the recipient, you're just like, somebody just bought me coffee. That was really nice. That was awesome. Mm-hmm. So I then said, I went through the whole I Love You Latte and how it was and guess how much it cost. And everybody was thinking thousands of dollars. It was $252. And then I brought the sponsor up and said, can we thank him? And then I go, all right, so this cost him $252. How much did it cost me? And everybody was like, $0. And I was like, exactly. God bless America. That is the I Love You strategy. So I modeled it for everybody. Well, then I said, how many of you have ever seen the golden ticket strategy? And nobody raised their hand. And one lady was like, yeah, maybe. And I go, how many of you have seen where you get a ticket to get a pie or and I started to kind of explain the golden ticket strategy. I'm like, and they're like, maybe. And then I go, how many of you had to come to me to get a ticket last night to get your drink? Oh, yeah. That's the golden ticket strategy.
Yeah.
People don't realize that it's a strategy at all. And they don't care. They're like, they love it. They love doing it. And it's like, that works, So, anyway, it's one of those where it is a strategy, but it makes sense. It just, oh yeah, that's what's next. So run the system. So you got 200 people there. You had 19 referrals.
Mm-hmm.
How many sponsors?
3.
Okay. So 3 sponsors and same charity.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Charity's got to be loving you.
Yeah. They do.
Yeah. Okay. And so what did you do? So on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate the fall festival?
It was a 10.
I would say it's 10.
Yeah, 10. What would make it a 10 plus?
I think we could have planned a little better what the sponsors were paying for and what we need. We had a lot of last minute things that we did not account for that needed to be bought.
We didn't account for 200 people to show up. And,
yeah.
And
different bar.
It was at
this one was actually my firehouse.
How cool is that?
Yeah.
And one thing that drew a lot of people, just if everyone wants to know, we did what's called a touch-a-truck, which is where the kids can go on the fire trucks and ambulances and they can, touch the truck and everything.
Yeah, I love that.
And me being a dad of a 3-year-old, my wife was like, this is a huge plus for parents with kids. They want to see this. So
have you guys not to rain on the parade necessarily, but have you guys thought about doing this for next Halloween, 29th or 30th, and doing a trunk or treat? And you could do touch a truck, kind of trunk or treat, or a touch a truck and treat, or something like that. I just wonder if
exactly. We did have a couple. We tried to do a little bit of a trunk or treat at the event. We had some local vendors, businesses come in, but we didn't focus on that. It might be a good thing to do.
That was just an add-on. Yeah, we had businesses come in, set up tables, give out candy to kids. Also, we all had that.
Okay, and and then charity, and then you had the Touch a Truck, which was an attraction. Love that. Did you? It was at the firehouse, which is an attraction of itself because you typically don't visit a firehouse.
Right.
So do you have the pole that you slide down and everything?
They do not have that. No.
Okay. Dang it. Because, that would have been worth extra points for me to climb to the top and just slide down the fireman pole. So, okay. And I think just kind of like, first of all, thank you for sharing your checklist. That's awesome. That's going to save a lot of people headaches in the future. And you've also reinforced to them just follow the system, just follow the checklist and do all the touches and do everything. And I guess, in summary, what is, what have you learned through this experience of, you've done event mastery class and now you've done 3 events.
Mm-hmm.
What have you learned through all that?
I would say just follow the systems of people who have done it successfully. There's no need to reinvent the wheel. Somebody like yourself and your team, you've already laid out a plan that works. So, if it's not broken, don't fix it.
Yeah. And run the system for sure.
Yeah.
Patrick, how about you?
One thing that use the system definitely. And one thing that we sit down with the calendar at the beginning of the year and write down every event we want to do.
Yeah.
We start planning each event like 2 months in advance, month and a half, just because, and it gives you enough time to just lay it out and say, all right, I got to make sure we do exactly what we need to do to make this successful.
Yeah, that's the beauty is that you don't have to, you can kind of plan it a year ahead. Like right now you could do 2020 and we suggest that, but really your energy of the event is going to be an 8-week process. Start 8 weeks before. If you do 8 weeks, your energy level doesn't have to be crazy. It's going to be up the week of the event just because it's going to, but when you break it down to 8 weeks before the event, everything's pretty easy to do. Like 8 weeks ahead, how much time per week do you think you'd really need to spend on it ideally?
Hour, maybe 2
hours.
Yeah, hour or 2 a week.
Yeah.
And you can get 19 referrals and have 200 people there. And in 8 weeks, how many of you would spend 2 hours a week that in 8 weeks you could get 19 referrals? But that's not all. You also helped a charity in a big way. Mm-hmm. And that's not all. You high-fived, hugged, and fist bumped 200 of future referral sources. Mm-hmm. And you've also created a referral culture. They now know that there is this form that you're going to have at all of your events that you want and need referrals without being desperate about it, without making them feel awkward about it. They have a choice. They can fill that out or not, but they know that it is communicated. It's up in the air. It's something that you still want and need.
Yes.
Yeah. Love that. I love that. So, this has been awesome. We have covered a lot. I did not know we were going to be able to cover 3 events and the invitation sequence and a little bit of the follow-up sequence for each of those. Kudos, gentlemen. How many referrals do you think you got last year? Like total?
Well, I don't know.
Under 10.
Under 10. And this year, you're at least at 27. So you've tripled your referrals and you've paid like maybe $200 to $500 to do it for the year.
We have one more event in 3 weeks.
So. And you have another event where you're going to get like another 20 referrals.
I hope so.
Is this fun or what?
It's great, yeah.
So this is much funner than cold calling.
Yes. Yeah. And if you can cold call, you can do this. Yeah. That's the beauty of all this is, listen, making a call to invite somebody to an event is nothing if you've cold called in the past.
Yeah.
You know? So Patrick Mirzayan and Zach Weselek from Woodbury, Virginia, if somebody wants to go to Loggers of Love or the Fall Festival, or they want to refer you somebody in Woodbridge, Virginia, to Pro Capitus Real Estate, how would they do that? Like, what's your contact information?
So you can email us at procapitusproperties@gmail.com.
That's easy. And Pro Capitus is PROCAPITUS.
Yes.
That's it.
Properties@gmail.com.
Yep. And then your
my number, it's 703-498-8067. Call or text me if you have any questions or referrals, just want an ear to listen. Or we're both on Instagram, Facebook under our names.
I love it. I love it. Any final words of wisdom or comments or suggestions for those that are listening out there in Referrals Podcast land?
I mean, the first event was definitely the most stressful because we didn't know what to expect. But once you do it, it's like, this is like the greatest thing. It's like the greatest decision ever made.
Just start. Just do it.
Yeah, just do it.
Get out there and take the leap.
I love it. I love it. Thank you, gentlemen. I appreciate you for being on Referrals Podcast today. I would love to invite everyone who is listening to this to rate and review this episode or the Referrals Podcast. And do me a favor, if you liked what you heard today, please do me a favor and share it with someone you know. Someone you know is struggling in this business, or the business could be a whole lot easier for them if they would just run a system and have a system for generating repeat and referral business. And we hope that we're solving that problem every single week with Referrals Podcast. I have to give a big shout out to Sherry Maher, my wife with Referco, as she has managed this project and owned this project and has taken us from not even having a podcast. And in just a little over a year, we are now at number 12 in the world in the marketing category. So I shake my head, I acknowledge and love her. And I thank you, the listener. And last but not least, hey, listen, Patrick, Zach, I really, really appreciate the both of you. Thank you for being a guest on Referral Podcast.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Appreciate it.